Hey,
Beautiful.
we are on a Monday night with Mike, the CEO of Asante Organic. Go ahead, Mike, take it over.
No, thank you very much. Thanks for that long, drawn out introduction. Wow, that was great. All right, Connie, you know what you get to do next time? Introduce me. Huh, exactly. All right. So, guys, I've been asked to do this training tonight, and I get this question all the time. So, because I never come prepared, because I don't like to be prepared, right? Because it just allows me to go and do things right in my eyes, shooting from the hip, right? So, um, but I get this all the time and many, many calls a day. Where do I start? From a nutritional standpoint, where do I start with this company? We're going to go over a few things. Pardon my sniffles. We got, went from very hot to very cold. Now we're cold and hot again. The pollen's going crazy out here. And so with that being said, well, what's the most important thing to do? Maybe people don't have, all the money to get everything and so on and so forth. So where do we, what's our roadmap to success, right? To have really, really good overall health. Well, let me tell you by saying this, like for everybody, it's going to be different, right? The protocols are the same in a sense, but everybody needs a different protocol because we all got different issues going on and things like that. Your goal, your actual goal is to probably somehow, once you run out of whatever it is you might be running out of, it's like ditch and switch, right? You run out of whatever you have. Well, now you replace it with this good stuff, right? Because it's about treating the inside properly, but more just as important as what you're putting on top of yourself. So your body isn't in constant conflict with itself. And then something slips by, and then we have issues, and then we have to try and fix things with a broken machine, right? So when you look at our uh, nutritional line, this is all you need to do. Don't let any other store, vitamin shop, infomercial, company, anything tell you any differently. What we're going to go through is all you need to do it from an internal standpoint, nothing less, nothing more, and get to work these things into your life. So, excuse me. So when we look at, well, where do we start? What do we want to do? Well, the thing is we want to get the body, extremely healthy and alkaline, creating a state of alkalinity where no disease, no illness, no virus, no sickness, no cancer, no fat, nothing bad can live in an alkaline environment. So you're either going to be one of two things. You're going to be alkaline or close to it, or you're going to be acidic. There is no possibly or not possibly. You're one or the other. And the key is to get your pH and your alkalinity and your pH up, so you're alkaline. And we'll talk about how we check that and what we do to look at those types of things as well. So when we look at this, when I get this question like, well, where do we start? Everybody, every single person, when we get to this point where you've seen Asante Organics and the right way of handling your health and your nutritional needs, I'm going to tell you what, the two most important things everybody ever should take in their entire life is digestive enzymes, okay, and probiotics, okay? Now, I'm going to tell you something. Not all digestive enzymes are the same in the marketplace, and not all probiotics are the same in the marketplace. So how do we know if it's good or bad? Well, you got to do quite a lot of research, right? But I'll tell you what, I look at people with digestive enzymes, and they're out there trying to show you, look, it can dissolve pudding. For goodness sakes. I'm like, what? Water dissolves pudding. That's not a way to test enzymes. Okay. And just because you're spending a lot of money on enzymes either, doesn't mean that they are good, all right? So you can do what's called the whole food test. Go on my Facebook page and you can go look it up on my page, because I did that test when I actually tested these particular enzymes against whole food. And then you can see how that basically works. But let's talk about, about health issues and why is it that we need to start, everybody needs to be on a good enzyme and a very good probiotic. Well, by the ages of 35 to 42 years old, at the age of 35 to 42 years old, you will lose 50%. By the time you reach that age, your body, every human body, nobody's going to be different. If you're alive and breathing air, you have lost 50% of your digestive capabilities. And some lose it even sooner than that. So if there was anything, there's a lot of things that enzymes do, because every single solitary function of the human body, doesn't matter if we're waving our hands around, if we're sleeping, if we're chewing, if we're, snoring, if we're whatever it might be, everything inside the human body is enzymatic activity, all right? It takes nutrition and enzymes to make everything work. So by the time we reach the age of 35 to 42 years old, every single human body that's alive is going to lose. You already have lost, I shouldn't say you're going to, you have already lost 50% of your digestive capabilities, all right? And when you reach the age of 40, after the age of 40, every 10 years of your life, you're going to lose another 10% of your digestive capabilities. So after the age of 40, you lose 1% every single year. Not good, because we have to look at this like we have to get our digestive capabilities back to the way they used to be when we were 10 and 12 and 14 years old. And that goes for every function inside the human body. We have to get these things back to the way our body used to do those. If you don't want to get a chronic disease, suffer from a chronic disease, and have a chronic disease take you out, okay? Or a health situation. So the most important thing anybody could ever do at the age of 30 years old and for the rest of your life is taking digestive enzymes and probiotics properly, okay? It's really important. So when we say, where do we start? Well, let's look at something here. When we look at disease and illness, and somebody says, I got this, whatever this is, it could be the worst thing in the world, and it could be whatever this is and everything in between. Well, before that even occurred, something else had to happen. So before we come to our conclusive health issue, well, then there was something over here going wrong. There was that. And then there was this. And then there was that over there. And then we had inflammation, because none of this could even happen if you didn't have some type of inflammation somewhere inside the body happening. And then when we look at that and we break that down, it goes down to a compromised immune system. And then right before that, all and every single disease will stem and happen from the gut. Because if the gut was operating properly, you wouldn't have all this stuff leaching into the bloodstream and then allowing all these other things to happen into succession until we have this issue now we have to deal with, whatever that might be, right? So that just didn't happen, okay? There was a series of events. All right, so enzymes. Let's talk about enzymes and probiotics, all right? So that's the most important thing you possibly do. So when you put anything inside your mouth, what basically happens is, here it comes, your brain knows it's happening, here it comes, boom, it's in your mouth. Immediately, enzymes start happening inside the saliva, which is going to break down carbohydrates, a lot of other things, but this brain up here is now throwing signals down to the gut, say, hey, here comes something, got some food in here. So what happens is your body starts producing hydrochloric acid. Hydrochloric acid is not, does nothing for, it doesn't digest anything, has nothing to do with digestion, but it has everything to do with digestion. Okay. So hydrochloric acid isn't involved in the digestion of anything. It just creates an environment, the right environment for your body, from the pancreas, from the liver, from the gallbladder, from every place in your body to start dropping enzymes. Because here it comes. Here comes the food. Boom, it's going to hit the stomach. It's going to go over into the small intestines. It's going to work its way around through the large intestines and the colon and out through the back. And there's a lot of, as complicated as somebody wants to make you think that the human body is, it's extremely simple to understand. Okay. So now when we're talking about enzymes, remember, we have a situation where our bodies used to do this by themselves, and now it doesn't. And if you say, well, at what age was I doing the best digestive capabilities in my entire life? Well, if you were born at 6 a.m, the first day, that's your best day of digestion inside the human body. By day number 2, you're already not digesting the way you did on day number 1. So, that's how fast it happens, right? And so we want to get our bodies back to doing what they did when we were children, because that was the perfect environment. So in order for our bodies to do that, we have to manually insert the things that our bodies used to do by themselves. And this is really extremely important, when we're talking about enzymes, because if you're not digesting your anything that's in your stomach properly, you are going to have dis-ease, whatever that might be, really bad health issues. Okay. So we got to get that right. And then we say, well, what's the proper way of taking enzymes? Because there's a lot of different types of directions, but when we talk about our daily digest enzymes, they're very tiny, right? So they're very small, and they're made small for a reason, because everybody can take them, and you can regulate these things properly. They're very tiny, and they're just fell out of my hand. But, then we can regulate these, because some people might need, maybe 5 if their stomach is too much for 6. So that's why they're like this. So the rule of thumb is this. These are protease enzymes, and a lot of different types of enzymes in here. But the thing is it's enzymes dissolve, digest everything. They digest proteins, right? And we got 2 types of proteins in our life. Okay, that's it, just 2. We have muscle tissue protein, and we have straight flesh protein and plant protein. They fall in the same category. Okay, so what is muscle tissue protein? Muscle tissue protein is anything that is what you consider meat. Okay, beef, pork, turkey, chicken, lamb, bison, buffalo, venison, anything that's a dead animal. Okay, we can go through that as well, because I don't know why anybody would want to eat those animals, but thing is, we'll talk about that as well, right? And then we have straight flesh. So that's muscle and tissue, because it's an animal. It's muscle, tissue. Now we have straight protein. Straight protein, straight flesh protein comes from anything out of the water. So that would be any type of fish, mahi-mahi, salmon. It could be shrimps or crabs or lobsters or scallops. If it's from the water, that's straight flesh protein, and your body digests that very, very quickly. And then we have plant protein. That's the same. It's going to digest, your body will digest that easily and much more quicker. All right. So when we talk about the animals, the muscle tissue protein, All right. So all these animals, when you look at them, I just talked to somebody today, and I'm going to watch the comments, and I'm going to teach you something just so you get it. All right. And we say, if you're going to have that piece of steak or that hamburger, why don't you tell me what you think the nutritional value is of that hamburger, the chicken, the turkey, or whatever it is? Go ahead and type it into the chat. Protein. All right. So, and she said not protein, but she understands why it's not protein. Okay. So, yeah, most people will say, I'm eating that because I would like to get some protein. All right. And, you know, I'm trying to look. Hang on one second, you guys. I need to make sure. Why don't you guys make sure you're all muted? Connie Shepers, I'm going to make you co-host. Okay. And then you can make sure everybody stays muted. So, people can take good notes. So when we look at this, all this muscle tissue protein, let's understand it like this. And this is a very, very good analogy. All right. If I say to somebody, I say, hey, so you think you're getting protein from that cow or the chicken or whatever that muscle tissue is that you're eating. And then I would say, what animal did the cow eat to get its protein from? And the answer to that is none. It didn't. And neither did the chicken or the deer or buffalo or anything else. These are animals that eat plants. They eat vegetation. So they eat the vegetables or the vegetation. They then get the protein for themselves, which allows them to grow into a nice, big, strong animal. And we have this crazy way of thinking that if we eat the animal, we're going to actually get post-digested protein because it already got the protein. It digested the protein. It assimilated the protein where it needs to go for that animal to be strong and healthy. And we think if we eat this animal, we're going to get protein out of it. Well, that's like I always say, if you go and you come into the office and you drive into the actual, into our parking lot, and now there's, it's not too nice, but there's a dead dog laying in the parking lot. Well, you say, Mike, oh, look at that. There's a dead dog there. And I'm like, it wasn't there till about an hour ago. It just got killed. All right. Don't worry about it. The park's going to pick it up tomorrow, today. It won't be there. And then you come the second day and it's 120 degrees out. You're looking at that dead dog and oh my gosh, it's starting to look nasty. There's flies on it. It's crazy. It's starting to oxidize. It's bloating. It's getting fat. It's just laying there. It's gross. And I'm saying, don't worry. They'll pick it up today sometime. And you come in on the third day and that thing is still laying there. That dead dog is laying there. And you know what? And now its eyes are popping out and it's rotting. It stinks. It's gross. Okay. And that's an animal that's in your stomach. That's muscle tissue protein. It will sit in your stomach and rot exactly the way that animal's rotting on the side of the road. So, good rule of thumb is stay away from muscle tissue protein because you can get all your protein from somewhere else and your nutrition. You don't have to be eating a dead animal that's going to lay in there for 72 hours. That's if we don't get it out properly. All right. Right. And then we got muscle tissue protein, which is all the things from the water. And then muscle tissue protein is animals. All right. Now we got straight flesh protein. Straight flesh protein is everything from the water that we just talked about. Okay. That's flesh. And that will digest and assimilate in our body very, very quickly. Or plant proteins. Okay. That as well. But we got to take enzymes in either situation. All right. So when we're sitting down and we're going to eat something, we're going to have dinner or lunch or breakfast, you have to look at your plate and you have to regulate your enzymes properly for your body. So anybody that tells you to take them at any other time, it's not the truth. And then they don't know anything about enzymes or what we just talked about or how enzymes work in the human body. And the whole thing about probiotics, right? We're going to talk about probiotics too. They help with the internal environment of the gut, but they also help digest as well. So they get anything that the enzymes have missed. Okay. Now, what's the perfect meal? Because the perfect meal could be just about anything. Could even be what we just described, eating that and vegetables and things along with it. It could be a box and some glue if you really think about it. What the perfect meal is it's something that we have as a main, that we're going to have for breakfast, lunch, or dinner. And we're going to eat it. And we're going to have the right amount of enzymes and probiotics in us. And then it's going to assimilate and absorb. And and our bodies are going to get out all the nutrition that we possibly can, because the body can't survive without nutrition. That's what makes everything in the body work, is proper nutrition. And we're going to extract all that nutrition. It's going to cellulize, it's going to metabolize, and then it's going to eliminate from our body. It's going to eliminate in 8 to 12 hours. That is the perfect meal, no matter what that might be. So, well, we talked about the different types of proteins. We have muscle tissue protein, we have straight flesh protein, and plant protein. So now we're going to sit down and we're going to eat. And we're looking at our plate. And if you have any dead animals on that plate, beef, chicken, turkey, whatever that might be, if there's a dead animal on that plate, you're going to need 8 of these enzymes. 8 to get that out of there within the next 12 to 14 hours. All right. And 1 probiotic. So whenever you eat, before you put any food in your mouth, you're going to put enzymes and probiotics in your mouth, because that's the way your body did it when you were younger. All right. So we're looking at our plate. If there's any meat on our plate, we're going to take 8 enzymes. And if there's anything else, like if we're not having meat, but we're having, any type of fish or anything from the water, or just a salad, we're going to have 4 enzymes and 1 probiotic. So every time you eat, you're going to have 8 or 4 enzymes and a probiotic. That's the proper way in taking enzymes and probiotics. And that is where you start. If anybody wants to know where to start, you got to get that gut right, or else you're going to be sick. And you're going to get something chronic sooner or later. It's going to wipe you out. All right? So that's how we do that. Now, we got the only enzymes that exist that actually work in an alkaline and an acidic environment. They work in both. Nobody's done that before. We have patents, international patents on these, and they've, our nutrition line was nominated for products. Some of the products in our nutrition line was nominated for a Nobel Prize. So that happens just to be 2 of them. All right. And if at the end of the night, if you're looking to lose weight or we're looking to get better, I would tell you this, because I do it every night. Okay. And what I do is, before I put my head on my pillow and go to sleep, I take 4 enzymes. Okay. And you can take 3 if you're a woman, 4, you could take 5. It's not going to hurt you. Anywhere from 3 to 5, because here's what happens. when you take enzymes at night. If we've taken enzymes properly throughout the day, we're not going to have anything in our stomachs because it will be all assimilated and we got out the nutrition. So if that's if we're taking the enzymes and one probiotic all day long, right? Daily. So after a few days of taking the enzymes, your body's going to start operating differently. You're going to notice it and properly. And if you do these things right, you're also going to notice that you'll be losing some inches and some weight along with it. Because we got 8 to 17 pounds of sludge in here we got to get rid of. All right. So with that being said, when you take the enzymes before you go to bed at night, we're hoping everything is out of the body at this point, out of the stomach. And then we have in our bodies over 60,000 miles of veins, arteries, and capillaries. And if you take enzymes at night, I'm going to tell you what, digestive enzymes do only one function. Okay. I'm going to say 2 words, and then you tell me what the function is. And I'll tell you that that function that I'm going to say is going to be said in the one of the 2 words that I say. So, digestive enzymes. What does an enzyme do? There's only one function of an enzyme. What does it do? I'll say it again. Digestive enzymes. So what does the enzyme do? Anybody? I'm going to watch. All right, I'll answer it. Oh, I'm looking. Oh, look at you guys. I was way up there. You're right. All you guys are right. They digest. Okay, that's all they do. So when you take the enzymes in the evening before you go to bed, if you've taken them right throughout the day, there's nothing in there or very little. And then what's going to happen is these enzymes are going to then go into the stomach and go, oh, there's nothing here. So then they start doing their act. They start behaving better. Key word there, better. Better than nitrous oxide. Better. Because what they start doing is they're like, well, there's nothing here now. And they start dilating the veins, the arteries, and capillaries inside the human body, which then allows more oxygen flow throughout the body, which becomes alkalizing. But these enzymes get in the bloodstream. And back in the 80s, there was a game called Pac-Man. And it would eat these little dots and they go chomp, 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 and catch a big old chomp, chomp and eat something, right? That's what enzymes do. They go throughout. Now we go to bed at night. We take these enzymes before bed. I do it every night. What happens at that point is that they get into the bloodstream and they act like crazy good. They look for things to get out of your bloodstream that should not be there. So they're moving along and they go, look, oh my gosh, there's some uric acid. Chomp, 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 chomp. Eats it up. Oh my gosh, there's some fungus. Chomp, chomp, chomp. There's some mold. Chomp, chomp, chomp. There's a few heavy metals in there. Chomp, chomp, chomp. There's some whatever. Chomp, chomp, chomp. Uh-oh, an unwanted protein. Chomp, chomp, chomp. Can't have that in the, because that's what they do is they digest proteins. So if somebody, you know, anybody that went out and got that, you know, that thing that they were given like in 2020 that shouldn't have been given, well, and they don't want it in their system anymore, take a lot of proteins for good. I mean, take a lot of enzymes for a good year, you know, like about 6 every single night before you go to bed. That'll get all that fake, artificial, synthetic proteins that are flying around in your body because the enzymes are going, that doesn't need to be there, and it'll get it out. Cholesterol, chomp, chomp, chomp. Plaque, chomp, chomp, chomp. Calcification, chomp, chomp, chomp. You see how those enzymes are working? So when you say, where do I start? This is where every single solitary person starts. Digestive enzymes and probiotics to get the gut right. Don't worry about prebiotics because you'll get that in your food and in any other things that we have. And I'll talk a little bit about that. And don't worry about phytobiotics if anybody's trying to tell you about that, because guess what? They don't exist. What does phyto mean? Anybody? Does anybody know what phyto means? I'm looking. All right. If you don't know what it means, I'll write it in here. Okay. Phyto means plant. So a lot of companies are out there going, oh, we got a tribiotic or a quadbiotic or a this biotic or a quintabiotic or fourplex, but whatever you think. That doesn't even exist. Phytobiotics are nothing. Phyto means plants. There's only prebiotics and probiotics. And if anybody's going to talk to you about postbiotics and say, hey, guess what? We also got postbiotics and you could take postbiotics, go do some research. You got prebiotics, probiotics. Prebiotics are usually sugars and fiber. And that's what feeds the probiotics to make them good and healthy and strong and be able to do their work. And if you have more prebiotics in your body today than you should, and your probiotics eat that all up, and there's some left over, that is what's called a postbiotic. It's created by the body. It's not going to hurt the body. It's not going to do any real good for the body. It is waste material, waste, human waste. And it's going to go out into the toilet. That's where a postbiotic is going to end up, and that's where it belongs. So if anybody's trying to tell you in anywhere in the world, in the store, on TV, that you're taking postbiotics, my question to anybody at that point would be, all right, who are you laying down on a table and whose stomachs are you taking things out of here, because that is the only place the human body creates that, nothing else. All right. And there's no nutritional value for them. Who's pumping stomachs here? Where did I just get these from? Just keep that in mind, because I want to make this simple and make you understand some things. And when other things come into conversations, you already know how to debunk those types of things, right? Right. So where do we start? We start with digestive enzymes and probiotics. All right. Now we can say, now everything else is really kind of very equal in value, meaning that we're going to talk about alkalizing, all right? Because that's really important, creating that environment, creating an environment where no disease, illness, virus, sickness, fat can't live in an alkaline environment, okay? Cancer cannot exist in an alkaline environment. There were Nobel Prizes given out for that. And guess what? We were rated from the NBC network as having the strongest alkalizing products in the world back in 2012. And there's a reason for them. So let's talk a little bit about alkalizing, okay? And remember, where do you start? We got where we start. That's always where we start. Right there by the root of the issue. Boom. All right. Now, when we want to get the body alkaline, it'll take as little as 3 days and as much as whatever that number is going to be, depending upon your behavior, your lifestyle behavior. Okay. So when we alkalize the body, there's some components that we need to follow. Greens for the blood. All right. pH drops for the internal environment. All right, that's 2. We need vitamin D3, 10,000 IUs a day. Okay, that's really important. 10,000 IUs for alkalizing. Okay, that's the vitamin D3. We're going to need the probiotics and digestive enzymes. We talked about those. We're going to need the omega-3, 6, and 9s to create. Now, those are going to be doing a lot of different things, okay? But it makes your environment slippery. So when you break down anything in your body that has any type of toxification, anything that's toxic, okay, what's going to happen is you want that to slide out the rear end as fast and quickly as possible. And if you don't do that, it's going to break down. And this toxicity is sticky. It's going to grab onto something and just hang on there. So let's get ourselves really oiled up properly and understand, how all these components work. So let's first talk about the earth greens. All right. We're going to talk about alkalizing now. All right. Talk about alkalizing. And that would be a very nice place to start as well. Get your body alkaline. Now, these greens, or shall I say, all our powders contain what is known as a negative 750 ionic charge, megahertz. A negative ionic charge that measures negative 750 megahertz. Okay. Well, what does that mean? How good is that? What's that all about? Well, if we look at, and all our powders contain that. Okay. We use live. All right, the greens, live green, alkaline, certified organic, extremely high in chlorophyll, whole food nutrition. All right. It's a big thing. When you look on a label, make sure you aren't seeing extracts, concentrates, or broccoli powder or broccoli juice powder. Anything with the name powder after it is going to tell you they're using juice powders. That's the cheapest stuff on the planet. It's got hardly any nutrition. You avoid it at all costs. All right. So when we're talking about the greens or all our powders, we have a negative 750 ionic charge on here. We're getting very, very high in chlorophyll when we're talking about the greens, because this is about the blood. This is all focused on the blood. Each scoop measures 5.5 pounds of live, raw, green vegetables, right? And when you scoop it out, you're going to see this negative charge on it. And, and I got this up on pillows, white pillows, so I'm not going to show you this charge because, I can do it. I don't want this stuff flying all over the place as it does. It's already popping out and getting onto the floor. So when you do this, you can go on my page. You see where I'm holding I don't want this stuff popping out. I got to empty this. It's already popping out. So as you can see, there's a magnetic charge on here now, right? And this stuff will move around and it'll just start jumping as it gets closer to you and get you all messed up and the furniture and everything, right? But so let's talk about these greens. One scoop, we have these in powdered form. We have them in a capsule form. One scoop is equal to 3 capsules. All right. One scoop is equal to 3 capsules, which is also equal to 5.5 pounds of organic whole food vegetable nutrition per serving, extremely high in chlorophyll. Why? Chlorophyll and blood have the same exact chemical makeup. So I always tell this story. Back in the days of World War I and World War II, they ran out of blood supply for the American soldiers. And what they do, they started giving those soldiers chlorophyll and coconut water transfusions. And they were amazed at how they recovered and how healthy they got and how they were alkaline and just their rate of speed of recovery is unbelievable. So you're getting certified organic, all whole food nutrition. Now, let's understand something about the extracts, the concentrates, and the juice powders compared to whole food nutrition. You're either one or the other. You can't say we have whole food nutrition and then you're going to find a juice powder. Doesn't exist. You're either whole food nutrition or you're not. That's it. So when you look at labels, that's what you want to look for, because I'm going to tell you that 5 pounds of vegetables or fruit will make 1 pound of concentrates, extracts, and juice powders. Okay. That doesn't seem like a lot of nutrition in there. 5 pounds equals 1 pound. 25 pounds, 25 pounds of vegetables or fruits will make 1 pound of whole food nutrition. That's why you don't see what we do out in the marketplace, because you know what? It's just the way that, times are. And we believe in whole food nutrition. If you pick the plant out of the ground, you'll lose all that nutrition within 45 minutes. What we do is we do on all our powders what's called Phytolive dehydration. And what is that? It's a patented method of using very, very, no heat, bringing this down into powdered form immediately when it gets picked. So, and then by infusing that charge, you get all that nutrition, just like if you picked it out of the ground. You'll never find another company in the world that does a negative 750 ionic charge on anything. Why? Because there's not a machine to do it. You had to figure out the machine, get a great industrial, good, engineer, and be able to create that machine to bring probes out of it, stick it into the batch, and then boom, it starts flying all over the place because you have all that liveliness in there and it creates a live product. All right. So, yeah. So now what do we want to do from an alkalizing standpoint? Take 3 scoops a day. 3. That's 17 pounds of vegetables. I don't know anybody that eats 5 pounds, let alone 17. So you take these things, the greens, 3 times a day, right? And I'm going to tell you what, you're going to be doing your blood some really, really good work. I mean, you're going to get antioxidants, phytonutrients, beta carotene, so many things, omega-3 fats out of here as well, amino acids, chlorophyll, electrolytes. The list goes on: magnesium, iron, calcium, vitamin K, C, E, 8, many, many B vitamins. We can go on and on and on. Just get to your websites, get to the websites and look at all the stuff that's in 1 scoop of greens. It's crazy. It's awesome. It's awesome. Take 3 of these a day. Wow. 17 pounds of vegetables. That is huge, huge. That's what you do for the blood from an alkalizing standpoint. All right. So now we know how that works, right? So now let's go to the other part of alkalizing. We've handled the blood because there's all these different components to it. Now we got to do something for the internal environment. And in order to do something for the internal environment is you're going to have to use pH drops in everything that you drink. So this is alkalizing all your organs and everything you have but the blood, okay? And my rule of thumb is you take the top off and you hold this eyedropper and you go like that. Then you go 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 full squirts in every single solitary thing that you drink. Do not take pH drops 30 minutes before you eat. Do not take pH drops 30 minutes after you eat, because you don't want to neutralize the acid in the stomach that created a perfect environment for your enzymes and probiotics to work while they're digesting your foods. All right. You don't want to mess with the internal environment that way. So I would take these pH drops anytime, all the time, but just 30 minutes before or after you eat, don't do that. What's the perfect rule of thumb when you're eating? Is to have as much acid in there as you possibly can to create the right environment for the enzymes and the probiotics to go to work. And you shouldn't drink more than 4 ounces every time you have a meal. And it should be room temperature, okay? If you start drinking cold things, you're going to mess up your guts doing that too, okay? So, maybe lemon water. That's beautiful. That's absolutely beautiful. So we got greens for the blood, pH drops for the internal environment. Then we got the omega oils, the omega-3, 6, and 9s. We're going to talk about this because this is a part of alkalizing. Okay. And, you know, omega oils are really, really good for a lot of things. Now, why 3, 6, and 9s? 3s activate 6, 6 activate 9s, 9 comes around and activates your 3s, right? So plant-based omega oils. That's really, really huge. Okay. This is from flax. All right. It's unrefined, cold pressed flax, right? So with the omega 3s, you're getting your alphas, omega 6s, you're getting your linoleics and oleics on omega 9s, right? And you know, when you're doing omega oils, right? There's a lot of things these are really good for. And that would be like when you have people with Alzheimer's and dementia, and, you know, if people have MS, people have communication issues between, creates really well-rounded communication, good line there of communication, because great connectivity, all these different things, great for joints. But from an alkalizing standpoint, this makes you very, very slippery. So when that toxicity breaks up, whew, man, that stuff flies right out of you. And that's what you want. That's what alkalizing is all about. So we got the 5 things here that we have for alkalizing. Now let's go to the last thing that we would do from an alkalizing standpoint. And then we can show you an option, right? But the last thing that we would do is take 10,000 IUs of vitamin D3. That is really, really, really huge. And, to getting your vitamin D3 in, because, vitamin D3 is really huge when it comes to alkalizing, because what happens is that, let me think how I'm going to tell you this. Let me think here. I'm going to look something up here real quick. So think of it like this, is that vitamin D, and what's really important about this vitamin D3 is, again, from an alkalizing standpoint, you need 10,000 IUs. This also has K2, so you don't have to worry about getting tested or anything like that. That's a great nutrient, but some people need that because their vitamin D doesn't work unless they have K2 to help, absorb that. And here's the thing, from an alkalizing standpoint, is in your body, we have calcium and a lot of different minerals, but calcium is the most used mineral inside the human body. So what vitamin D does, let's just say you got some inflammation and you got some knee pain. What would happen in a perfect world is the vitamin D is your body's going, my knee hurts. And then the vitamin D is going, look, we got some pain in there, so we got to take care of that. So it's going to come and it's going to come over here and grab the calcium, because calcium is a buffering agent. It's the most used mineral inside the human body, and it's going to connect to it like it's a backing up of an engine. And here's the box car. This is the train. This is the horse. This is the cart. It comes, it clamps on. It says, we got some work to do. It's going to go all the way down, and it's going to come down and hit the knee. And then the calcium's going to buffer all that inflammation out of there. And it's going to smooth it out. And you're going to be well oiled, right? Because you got your oils in there. So what happens, think of it like a piston in a car. And if there's any sand in there, it's going to scrape. Oh my gosh, that car's making noise. Well, that ain't good for the engine. It's not operating properly because there's sand in there and it's scraping. We got to get the sand out. We got to get good oil in there. And that's what you do from an alkalizing standpoint. So think of inflammation like that. And then, so vitamin D3 is looking for the calcium and saying, hey, we got to get down there and do our job, buffer that thing out, oil's coming in, and then all that pain and inflammation goes away, because inflammation and pain go together. You can't have pain without inflammation, and you're not going to really have inflammation without having pain. And guess what? Can't survive in an alkaline environment? Inflammation. So get rid of the inflammation and you're going to get rid of the pain. And that's how it basically works from an alkalizing standpoint, getting your body alkaline and all this stuff working together. Well, how do you know if you're alkaline or not? Well, we make the pH strips. I don't have any here, but we got them. You can buy them from our company. And what happens is in the morning when you wake up, you take a pH strip and then you pee on it. All right. First thing you do, don't use the first urine, let it come out a little bit and then just touch it. And then you're going to see what color it turns. You want it to be between 7.2 is probably perfect. 7.0 is neutral, but 7.2 all the way up past, all the way up to 8. All right. That's ideal. 7.4 to 8 is great. Now, urine's always going to be pretty much closer to the alkaline side because it's things that are coming out of it. All right. So now we got this pH strip and we matched it up with the color. And believe you me, 6.8 is 10 times too acidic. 6.6 is 100. And it goes in multiples of 10 on the way backwards. So if you're 6.2, you got some work to do there because it's not good. Okay. So you got to get alkaline, right? So then when we're done peeing on this strip, you take a second strip, put it in your saliva. And, this is without eating anything, right? Because we want to see where we're at in the morning. Nothing that we've done, put it on your saliva, and hopefully those two strips match up together in color and they're 7.2 or higher in the morning. Then you know you're alkaline. That's perfect alkalinity at that point. And then maintain it by doing all these things we're talking about. All right. And then what we can do is we can ensure that we're keeping our alkalinity up and keeping ourselves really, really well supported. And how we're going to do that is we're going, and I say this goes hand in hand with alkalizing because this is a really big part of the alkalizing process. It's optional, but I would do it all the time. I would do it all the time. And that is taking the Asante Organics electromineral cell salts. And that's right here. All right. And that's in the blue. Now remember that these, let me think. That these cell salts are, oh my gosh, I'm trying to think of how I'm going to explain this, right? Hold on one second and I'll look it up real quick for you guys. Hold on. So these cell salts are basically, I can't find it now. I just had these notes for you guys. Where is it? Let me look here real quick. All right. So let's get into the cell salts because they're really big on your immune system, and this also has added vitamin C, right? And it's good for hydration and oxygenation and recovery from sports performances or workouts. It's great for muscles, tissue, joints, and bones. And the way to actually understand why we've made these cell salts and why they're so important and why they are such a big part of alkalizing is because every day when you wake up, let's think about a water bottle, right? And I got this water bottle. Hey, wow, look at that. How come every day I match my outfits with water bottles? That's the kind of CEO you want, right? So if this water bottle, think about 25% filled up right there, right? Right there. That's the human body. That's the perfect human body in the very, very, very perfect scenario. Now, in the healthiest scenario, and we're not the healthiest people, not anybody watching this is the healthiest person around. But if you were, that's all you get every single day is 25%. And that is there are 4 minerals. There's a lot of minerals that the body needs, but there are 4 minerals that are essential for life, and you would not live without these minerals. Calcium, magnesium, potassium, and sodium. All right. And with that being said, your body would not live if you didn't have the proper amounts, and they're very vital for life and the most used. And imagine 25%. That's the human body. When you get up this morning, when you get up tomorrow morning, you're going to only have 25% to run on. That's it. That's for the whole day and the whole evening. And if you run out of calcium, what's going to happen? Is you're going to start pulling calcium from your bones, from your teeth, from your heart. Okay. If you need extra magnesium, it's going to start pulling it from your muscles. If you need any potassium other than what you've been given, it's going to pull it from your organs of your body. If you need any sodium, it's going to pull it from every single solitary cell in your body. Everything that ever happens from the minute you're born or you're even developed into an embryo, everything from that point till the day we're not alive, everything is enzymatic activity. And I'm going to tell you that you don't want to run out of your mineral salts. Now, I'm going to tell you that we also add C because C helps oxidize 30% more fat during exercise than people with low vitamin C levels, right? So when you get hunger pains between meals, they, can be calmed down by eating and being hydrated properly, right? So it's going to help you get your really good, healthy goals. That's why the vitamin C is there and for other reasons as well. But more than anything, I'm going to tell you what, we go back to this bottle and you think of this. And if you take 1 scoop of these cell salts in the morning and 1 in, sometime in the afternoon, boom, it fills you up all the way to the top. It creates a reserve. It's like filling up a gas tank. So now all throughout the day, your body's running on this, all throughout the day, your body's running on what you have in the gas tank. And then when you get to go to bed at night, bam, you got that 25% that your body's already made through, for the next day. You got that to operate your body for the rest of the evening. That is huge. That is really huge from an alkalizing standpoint. So that is why we produce these, because you can use, this is an option, but it's an option I'm never going to be without. When you see me drinking in here, I got a scoop of greens, a scoop of cell salts. I do put a scoop of reds in here. I put my 4 squirts of pH drops in here. I put lemon juice. I buy what's called Volcano lemon juice. It's certified organic. And I put what I would think is a half of a lemon in there. And then I add, some maybe 3 frozen strawberries or a little handful of blueberries, and then shake it up and it tastes like blueberry or strawberry lemonade. But it's really, really alkalizing. And it's really giving your body those mineral salts that you need that are essential for life. Helps with inflammation, weight loss, immunity, joints. We can go on and on and on. And that, from an alkalizing standpoint, is absolutely all you need, essential, awesome. And now we're going to move on to the other products. We don't have that many yet. So, and again, this is all you need to do. And we're going to move on next to, let's go with the B-tabs. All right. Because these are very, very magical. All right. This is a prebiotic as well. But, you don't need to be taking extra prebiotics really ever, because you're always going to get enough in your diet. All right. That's a given. But prebiotics in here, it supports energy, immunity, digestion, libido, histamines, hot flashes, hair, everything you can imagine. You know what? These are very sweet. They come from the honeycomb itself. It contains the propolis, the jelly, the pollen, and the honey, right? And here's the thing. So people have asked, Mike, why don't you have a multivitamin? Here, the B tabs, that's your multivitamin. This is the only product that is produced. This is made from the honeybees. Think about this. The only product that is produced from nature that can actually sustain life forever. Not forever, like forever, but that can sustain a person their entire life. The bottom line is all you need is B-tabs and water, and you can live a more healthier life than anybody you can ever imagine. 22 amino acids, 27 minerals, provitamin A, C, D, E, K, we can go on and on. Folate, inositol, B1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 12, enzymes, coenzymes, bioflavin, rutin, and then we can go on and on and on, potassium, magnesium, manganese, all the things that are in here. But here's what you understand about these B-tabs. One is they're cross-pollinated, which basically means because when people get allergies and things, they say, well, use the bee products from your area. Yeah, that's true. That's true. That would help. But if you can get cross-pollinated product, that will help any place in the world, and it's much stronger, more potent, and these are absolutely amazing. Here's your multivitamin, and you'd suck on them, and there's no limit. You can have, I would say, 4 or 5 twice a day, and you are going to love these things. They're incredible. You'll feel them. It is unbelievable what will happen, what can happen when you're taking these B-tabs. And again, there's a book out. You can go to Abe, like Abe Lincoln, abe.com, and you can go look at, there's a book called Health from the Hive. And on that book, it's out of print. You get it like $4. So if you take honey by itself, or propolis, or pollen, or jelly, all by itself, it'll do about 10 things to the human body. But if you take all of them in the right amount and cross-pollinate them, this will do about almost 1,200 things to the human body. I'm going to tell you what, if you know any woman, tell you how to make every single guy in the world happy. Any woman that's going through menopause, get them on these B-tabs. They'll fly through menopause with no symptoms, absolutely none. And if they do got symptoms right now, they'll stop within 24 to 48 hours. Boom, just breeze right through it. That's really good. I've seen people just jump on those B-tabs, and well, they aren't ordering inhalers anymore. Let's just say that. So it's amazing how when you do the right things from an alkalizing standpoint, things just disappear. Things just disappear. See, plants were man's first medicine, right? Right. So let's think about that too, right? So that's what the B-tabs are. And we're going in these in this order, right? And now we're going to talk a little bit about, let's see, what else would be really important. Let's talk about the super reds, all right? Let's talk about these because these are extremely, extremely important, right? And so when we're talking about the super reds, again, you're going to get 5.5 pounds of live organic, whole food, fruit, nutrition per serving with an ORAC scale. The highest ORAC scale anybody has ever seen before these reds was around 20,000, 25, 28,000. That's the highest ORAC scale ever, right? The ORAC value. And I'm going to tell you what, because again, we put a negative charge, the negative charge on this, right? And let's understand first the ORAC levels, right? What is ORAC? ORAC stands for oxygen radical absorbance capacity. Okay, so it goes by ORAC value, right? ORIC score, ORIC unit. You'll hear all that. What that is it measures the antioxidant capacity of the fruits in here, right? Now, everything that has ever been made from an ORIC standpoint, the highest you've ever seen, anybody's ever seen with the human eye has been around 28,000. Let me tell you something. The ORIC value on this is 202,000. And I attribute that because of the negative charge, right? And this is good for your heart, for your cardiovascular system, for DNA, for DNA health, for, oh my gosh, joint health, for swelling, oh my gosh, for tissue repair, for blood pressure and all your blood, all these different things with blood pressure and having really good heart health and so on, antioxidants, phytonutrients, xanthones, vitamins. We can go on and on with what's in here, and detoxification, immunity. Wow, just so much when I keep thinking about it. But really good in telomere repair. That's really huge as well. Antioxidants. See, everybody can go out there and say, guess what, Mike? I'm taking, glutathione. Well, newsflash, ding, 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 ding. After the age of 50, glutathione's never going to work on anybody. If you take glutathione, it's not going to work. If you take these pills and these different nutritional supplements out there that say, well, you take this and it's going to induce your liver to create more glutathione. You're right, it would. If you're under the age of 48, it will. But after that, you can't do that. You have to outsource. Just like we're talking about all this stuff. Putting back into the body what your body used to do, that will no longer do it. And if you don't do it, you're going to get yourself into trouble, okay? From a dis-ease standpoint. So we take the super reds. And you know what? You can take as many of these as you want, just like the B-tabs. You can't overtake the B-tabs. I take them maybe 4 or 5, 3 times a day, and you just suck on these things. They taste like little pieces of honey. Take the super reds. This tastes like a pixie stick when you were a kid. Remember that sugar stick? Oh, Mom, please buy me one of these. I can't wait. Oh, God, and they're just going like that. And whoa, and the next thing you know, you look like a powdered donut, for goodness sakes, because you're sticky and it's all over the place. That's how good these things are. These you put directly in your mouth and you take them as much as you want. You can't overtake them. And I'm telling you, I do these 3 to 5 times a day because I love tissue repair. I love healthy tissue. I love fixing my DNA and my telomeres. I love it. And I love that all this is isotonic. What does that mean? Because of the negative charge, isotonic means that it's actually absorbing and assimilating into your body. So think of it like this, when you take something, no matter what it is that's going inside your mouth and you swallow, it's going down, it's hitting the stomach, it's going to come over here to the small intestines, it's going to work its way into the large intestines, into the colon and sigmoid and whatever, and out into the toilet, right? But here's the thing, all this being isotonic means that it's all absorbing into your body before it even gets out of that small intestine. That is huge. You will feel it. I guarantee you're going to feel it like crazy, okay? And that's the reds, okay? Where do you start? I love it all. Pretty soon you want to take all of it for all the reasons that we're hearing about tonight. And we're almost done, all right? So let's talk a little bit about let's look what we got left right here. We got the pH shake. Gosh, is this good? I was always a vanilla guy until I got this chocolate done right. And I mix this with, you can mix it with anything, water, coconut milk, almond milk, and nut milk. I like a milk in a box called Milkademia. It's like macadamia nut milk. Oh my gosh. After you're done having this, you're gonna ground yourself. You're gonna send yourself to your room for a good 30 minutes because you think you just did something wrong. Okay. Bottom line is it tastes exactly like you just drove through the drive-thru with a Jack in a Box, okay? That's how good these shakes are. They're not gritty. I can't stand that either. It's like, What do you want me to do? Chew on a big, chunk of chalk? That's nuts. Gritty. My teeth are making noise. I'm like, get that out of here. Not with this stuff. I'll tell you that right away. That's why I made it this way, right? And let's talk about this. Certified organic, right? Vegan protein meal replacement, 28 servings per tub. Let's go again. Certified organic, right? Alkalizes, energizes, metabolizes, builds muscle mass, prolongs energy. Why? Because it's all whole food with a negative charge, mind you, right? That 750 negative ionic charge, megahertz ionic charge, whole food nutrition, no gluten, no dairy, no soy, no whey, none of that. No, and vitamins, minerals, amino acids, enzymes, antioxidants, phytonutrients, low carb, low glycemic index, supports organs, muscles, bones. Do we need to go on? I mean, we could go on all night if you really want to know, right? But get into the website and do a deep dive and start reading about all these things, because this is a meal, my gosh. And I'm going to tell you what, it's an unbelievable one at that. Again, you got products that were, in this nutritional line that were nominated for Nobel Prizes. Why? In gut health, because that's what we do. It's unbelievable stuff. In vanilla, you can add the fruit, make the smoothies. Oh my gosh. You know what I do sometimes too? Is I take a half a scoop of vanilla and a half a scoop of the chocolate. And I'm cheating. Oh my gosh. Not only do I send myself in my room for 30 minutes for misbehaving, I even almost sometimes have to give myself a spanking. That's how good that stuff is. All right. So that's good stuff. Let's move on and let's talk a little bit about the calcium, right? Because sometimes we need that, and this is something that's really optional, but it's good because it contains all of the different types of calcium that are necessary. So the minute that you take it, bam, you get this huge disbursement of calcium from the citrate, and then all the different other chelated and different types of calcium that's in there that slowly stays with you throughout the day and allows you to, for your body to have accessibility to this when your body needs it. Multiple amino acids, okay, multiple calcium compounds, and that is that. It contains vitamin D3. Now, you need this in this product to absorb, actually make this absorb the calcium itself. So it activates it, right? So do you need vitamin D3 in the capsule form? If you're taking the calcium, absolutely yes. Yes, I said yes, because there's just enough in there to handle that. This is 10,000 IUs that you need on a daily basis. All right. So now we've handled just about everything. And now we're going to talk about something that I think is really, really extremely important. All right. And that will be the super sprout sterols. Okay. These are really important because of a few things. Let's talk about these. All right. These have many international patents on them. All right. And it is a hybrid. So you're not going to find these types of sterols anywhere else but here, because they're these plants that were crossbred, if you want to say that, to create the glucosides. So you would say, look, all sprouts have sterols, and all sterols turn into plants. All sprouts contain sterols, and all sprouts turn into plants. But why don't plants contain any sterols? Anybody know that answer? And I'll tell you that answer. Because it's not a sprout. Plants don't contain sterols, only sprouts do. So we've crossed, and then we're grabbing the sprouts to try and get glucosides. This comes for every sprout. This is the only time in the world this ever has happened and ever will happen because they're that protected. Each sprout contains an equal sterol. Or I'm sorry, each sprout contains a sterol, which also contains a glucoside. And that is unseen in the history of plants and sprouts, all right? Now let's talk about these for a second, right? So don't let anybody kid you. There's no spice in the world. There is no essential oil. There is no plant. There is no vegetable. There is no fruit. Nothing in the world destroys disease and cancer other than one thing. And that is, what is it? Anybody know that answer? Come on. We talk about it all the time. What is that one thing that destroys disease and cancer inside the human body? I know you know it. So I'm just going to sit here and wait. If we got to wait for 3 days, keep going. No sign language. I saw that, Connie. Perfect. T lymphocytes, T cells, right? It hates disease. It hates cancer. So think of this. You know what? I will be back in a second. I'll be right there as I am grabbing. We're going to give you a visual demonstration. And I had to run around the couch here to get into where the golf balls are. So imagine this golf ball is a red blood cell. And imagine there's 2 red blood cells here. All right. A T lymphocyte in a normal human being, and the healthiest person in the world, is big enough to only hold 2 red blood cells within its casing. So that's how big it is. It doesn't hold red blood cells. But if you want to know, in the healthiest person in the world, a T lymphocyte is the size to contain on the inside 2 red blood cells. So knowing that T lymphocytes are the only thing that kills all disease, including the worst in the world, it hates it and it will destroy it. Imagine being able to take a product, okay? To be able to take a product, and the way you take it, you can do a loading dose, which means you take 6 in the morning. So these always need to be taken first thing when you wake up. The first thing when you wake up, okay?
Change it to multiple stations. 2 block check.
All right. Man, I got to be quick with the fingers too. So anyway, Connie, you got 10. I got 5 right now. What am I doing here? So, all right. So we got the sterols, right? So we understand how they work. Now you can take a loading dose and take 6 a day. So when you wake up, you got to take these things on an empty stomach. You can't eat nothing for 1 hour. 1 hour, you can't do it. So guess what? I'm a guy. I'm a young guy. I get up in the middle of the night and I pee, all right? I do a letter of the alphabet. Perfect. So, and in the middle. So when I get up around 4 o'clock in the morning, like clockwork, to go take a pee, you know what I do? I take my sterols. How many do I take? 4 or 5, whatever I can fit in my hand in the dark and ain't falling all over the place. I step on them too once in a while, right? But the way you should take these is 6 in the morning, right in the morning, for 3 months. And then what happens is by taking these sprout sterols, remember what I said about the T lymphocyte can only hold, it's the size to be able to hold 2 red blood cells. Imagine taking a product that will make those T lymphocytes 5 to 7 times larger inside the human body. Not only that, but 750% more efficient and 1,325% more active in the human body. I will tell you right now, those sterols are so vitally important for life. It'll just get in there and just destroy anything that in its sight. It's unbelievable what a T lymphocyte can do. And imagine making them look like Superman or Superwoman. How do you do it? You take 6 in the morning for 3 months and it gets them that big. And or you can take 3 in the morning for double the time, 6 months. It'll take 3 months or 6 months. And if you go on 6 sterols for 3 months, don't take them after 3 months. You got to just go down to 3. You'll be wasting them. So you don't need them at that point in time. If you take 3 every single morning, it's going to take you 6 months for those things to get super huge. So it's either 6 or 3. And if you take the 6 after 3 months, you go back down to 3, and everybody's taking 3 at that time. All right. Now, let me tell you something. If you decide and you get off those sterols, it will keep those T lymphocytes supersized. I mean, supersized for about 9 months. And I've done the test. You can watch it on YouTube where I took them and we did a live blood test. They got huge. I got off of them after about maybe 9 months and they were right back down to normal size. And I took them again for 3 months and huge again. I did the test. That's how it works. And you know what? That's it. I know we had a lot of time here today, but that's all you need. Don't need anything else more. Nothing less. Wait, I forgot something. I did. I want to complete this entire line, right? So think about it. When you go into any store, you look down the aisle, you're like, what am I going to take? This is nuts. Down the nutritional aisle. You don't need hardly any of that stuff. It's there to make money. This is all you need, except one thing that will be coming out in a few weeks. This will complete everything. All right. And once you get this, you never do anything outside of this again. Don't go anywhere else to get what this is going to do, because nobody can make it do what this is going to do. Again, patented. All right. And it works like crazy, unbelievably good. And after that, all done. All done. All right. That is the nutritional line. Where do you start? We're going to go right back to the beginning one more time. And the way you're going to start, where do I start? Always get the gut right first. And you know what? Doesn't matter what you got. And we're going to say, we got to get rid of this now. So we got to start somewhere. The first thing we're going to address is that gut. Because that, if you had a proper operating, if your gut was working properly, none of that stuff would have happened, no matter what it was, from the least to the worst thing. It's all gut. You got to take care of that. And you know what? And you got to stay away from as much of that red thing that you got on your plate there that you're eating that is ridiculous. But if in my eyes, I haven't done it for 15 years. I don't miss it. You'll never miss it. When you look at it, you can't even stand. I got to, I'm like, take me to my table. I don't want to see anybody's plate. That's the way I am, because I can't even look at it. I'm like, and your body tells you that. When you're alkaline, there's things you won't be able to do. You might be the person that goes, oh my gosh, I just love pizza. I love pizza. Once you get alkaline, you can't eat pizza. And you're like, you thought about it for 9 months. And then you eat it, and then you think, oh my gosh, that's it. I'm going to get that restaurant. I'm going to nail them for food poisoning. That ain't food poisoning. Your body's going, that is some really bad poison you just put in here. Get that out now. And and you'll feel it. When you got something in there that isn't supposed to be in there, yuck. And you'll feel very yucky. Let's just put it that way. So that's it. That's how it works. Now I'm going to open up for questions. So I didn't look at the chat because I don't have notes or nothing. I just talk and tell you how this stuff works, right? So now, if you have a question, unmute yourself, state your name. Hi, this is admin. And, I got this question, whatever it is, or ask it in the chat, and I'll stay here for a couple seconds. All right, let's see. I
Jen had a
someone ask
question
me-
in the chat about when to take the omega, yeah, 3, 6,
Oh, the
9.
Omega 3, 6, and 9s, 3 a day. And the last one should be during the evening before you go to bed. So you get really nice and oily at night. Okay. Because that's when
Thank
your
you.
body slows down to about 70%. You lose 70% of operations inside your body at around 7 o'clock. Everybody does it. And then, you know what? You need to, have all that reserve and everything working for you.
My name's Drew Halleck. I have a bad gene that retains iron. I have to have phlebotomies every 2 to 3 months to reduce my iron count. I am taking the greens, the daily enzymes and all that. Is there anything that I need to worry about because of spiking of my iron content since I have started taking the greens?
No. And all that stuff, if you start alkalizing, all that stuff will level out. Genetics or not, it will. So that's how you do that. And you can call me personally and we can talk to Ron. I think that would be a good idea. We could talk to Ron about that. And he can get ready though. Take some really good notes and understand you're going to be spending a little bit of time with him because he'll go through that. Like, I mean, this guy, like I said, this guy's supposed to, he's genius IQ, smartest human being in the world about the human body. Everything that you got, you tell him what you got and he'll tell you how to do that. But I think if you're alkalizing, it'll be fine. Back up and okay. So when we're talking about, do you have parasites? Well, there's one thing, there's a whole myth about parasites and everybody's got them. Well, you've got parasites if you're probably eating a lot of sushi and stuff like that, but you got to see them physically. Do you see them in there? Do you see anything? Because you would see them. And you know what? When we release this, you don't have to worry about that anymore. Okay. You're not gonna have to worry about that. You're not gonna have to worry about heavy metals. You're not gonna be worried about a lot of stuff after a few weeks. All right. And then you'll never see me really bring anything out from a nutritional standpoint again, because you don't need it. You don't. And if anybody's telling you need something else, somebody's talking about drinking mud and all that crazy stuff. Nobody told you to drink mud. That was never, things like that, and stay as far away from zeolite as you possibly can, because that is absolutely ridiculous. And what happens, if you take some of that stuff, what happens is it starts creating crystallization in the body and starts working up to the top of the skin. It's like broken glass, and you'll never get rid of that feeling ever again. You don't want that feeling. It's not healthy. So stay away from these types of things. What would you suggest to start with if someone had, what we got to do when you have those types of issues, Sorrel, is that how you say it? Sorrel? Look, you call me because there's lifestyle changes. Here's the thing. Look, every single person's going to do this. I don't care if you got it from the toe to the head, wherever it is. 1, stop all your meat. Never eat it again. You want to get healthy? You just give that up because they'll make you give it up. Number 2, stop all the dairy. It's extremely acidic. There should be no human being in the world drinking a substance from another animal's modified sweat gland that all it contains is white blood cells and pus, P-U-S-S, pus. Okay, that's designed for a baby animal of that species. And once that animal gets 6, 8 weeks old, it doesn't even do that itself anymore. Now it goes out and it eats vegetation to be healthy and strong. So you got to stop doing all the dairy stuff. All right. And then the next thing is all the sugars. Sugar is your worst enemy, more addictive than cocaine. Stop, stay away from it. Once you get alkaline, you won't even want sugar anymore. You know what? Here. You want sugar? Go eat a bunch of this stuff right here, these super reds. That's all you need, right? That'll get rid of your sweet tooth real quick. You don't need sugar. All right. Those are the 3 things you're going to quit. Every person that's ever got that issue, stop. That's it. That's your lifestyle changes. Done. No bread, no white stuff either. Okay. That's it. Get rid of that. And then we do all of this, what we just seen just here. It's how we do it. And 6 sterols every day for the rest of that person's life. That's it. Done. Over and out. Guess what happens then? Magically disappears. Magically. Somebody just was given terminal. They were terminal. 4 months later, they can't find it. I'm going to interview this lady. Okay. And I got many of those situations and cases that happen. How do you feel about free range grass fed eggs for protein? Well, how do you feel about eating a chicken's period? I mean, that's just what it is, right? Think about it. What would happen if that egg incubates? What happens? Turns into a chicken. So, yeah, Cat was caught up there. You're not going to like my answer. So think about that, and when you said, when it's grass fed, think about this one thing. Watch what me tell you when they talk about animals being grass fed free range. All right. I come from a farm in Wisconsin, a big one. All right. And it was an organic farm, but they raised cattle. And you know what? Yeah, done with me. So here's the deal. Watch what I'm going to say. You go out there and you watch that animal, and it just doesn't, it's not out there with like a little barber scissors and making itself a salad. And, anybody, vinaigrette, a little hoof up there hanging like that. Nothing like that's going on out there. You know what it's doing? It's putting its face in the ground and it's eating and pulling it up, and it's pulling up worms, and it's pulling up bugs, and it's pulling up all these organisms and all this type of stuff. And when you go get any of those dairy products and stick it under a microscope, even after it's been pasteurized and treated, whether they're grass-fed or not, the bottom line is, you know what you're going to see under a high-powered microscope? All this stuff, little things crawling around in there. You want to eat that stuff? Even when they supposedly get the milk ready for the shelf, they got to treat that. They radiate it like cancer, like 6 to 8 times to get it shelf ready. But there's not one piece of milk that you can take off the thing. If you don't stick it under a microscope, you're going to see something wiggling across the thing. Why? Because it didn't get killed yet. You want to eat that stuff? I don't want to eat that stuff. It's really bad for the human stomach. And guess what? Think about it like this. It's not like, there's a cow sitting there in the field going, man, I'm a pretty old cow. Look at those beautiful cows out there. They're so young and running around and kicking their hoofs up. And I'm an old cow. But you know what? I'll bet I could get really strong if I drink goat's milk. Who does that? A cow don't do that. And a goat don't drink a cow's milk. Again, we're a species of existence, and we think that it's right to start eating and drinking all these things. And you know what? Think about this. Think about the Asians, right? They get those eggs. We'll talk about these eggs again. They get these eggs. They're from ducks, and they stick them in a microwave, because I know when that does it. I watch her, and she turns that microwave on for a few minutes, and the next thing they do is they crack the egg, and guess what's in there? She eats a foot and a beak, and just pulling out things out of that thing like that. And they think that's good. That's not good. I don't think that's any good. What is your daily diet? Well, I get up in the morning, I have protein shake and a protein bar. And then I take with me, here's the thing. If you want to get nice and lean, then you got to go high fat and low carb. Okay. Problem with civilization or society, and it all happened around after 1980. Because if you look at pictures in the 60s and 70s, you can see people that take a picture of the beach and everybody's fit on the beach. And come to the 1980s, if I want to take a picture of, Bradford Beach, well, everybody's on the beach, I'd have to go to Connie's house and get up on a ladder, and get into the next state to even get anybody in on the picture, because they got it all wrong. And what they got wrong is that they started come out with low fat diet, low fat. But the hell they get the low fat? They went in and put all these carbohydrates in there, sugars and crazy stuff, and processed, and it's not good. And that's the problem. So the thing is, if you want to you got to remember, high fat, a lot of nuts and seeds, right? I do honey roasted pistachios. That's what I do, out of the shell. I eat those throughout the day because they keep you full and they keep you satiated, and I can work out and do all these things, and I don't get hungry. And I'm not even hungry when I get home, but I know I have to eat. So I eat, but my nut of choice is either a macadamia nut or I would eat a pistachio. That's what I like. And because I don't want to be snapping teeth all over here and stuff like that. So, I got a couple crowns, so I don't, but like walnuts are really good. That's really good. Okay. So, you got to be that. And so I'll do that throughout the day. Then at night I'll have, fish, fish tacos. I do a lot of fish tacos, right? You want to know what I do. Always making sure I'm having vegetables or coleslaw or stuff like that. But you know what? If you want to eat some meat, if you want to eat those eggs, things like that, you just got to make sure you know that, whoa, I got to take more enzymes than just 4. Okay. And to get that stuff out. That's the important, it's more important of getting that out of your gut than it is what's going into the gut. Okay. So it doesn't rot and ferment and oxidize, leach into the bloodstream and cause a really bad health issue because your immune system's trying to keep your body protected and doing the right thing. And you're breaking down the immune system by doing the wrong things. And you don't want that happening. So hang on. All right, I'm back. Aren't you happy? Oh man, you guys are
Hey,
like,
Mikey Mike.
yay, what's up?
Okay, so those of us that, I mean, I haven't had it for quite some time, but I do have a history, quite a long history of diverticulitis,
Yes.
like actual not diverticulosis, diverticulitis, where there's an active infection. Now
Right.
I've been good and I've been alkalizing and, I've been taking the products for a while. I just thought asking this maybe would help somebody else too. I know a lot of the things you talk about, they tell us not to eat. If you have that, which I try not to eat a lot of nuts because of that. What's your take on that?
I had that myself and I don't have it anymore.
It's not fun.
Right. Connie, do you know how to shut the recording off? Only so it's not so long when they put it in there and we can always do questions. I can always answer questions. Anyway, I guess if anybody knows how to shut the recording off, please. Oh, you did it. Or did you not? I don't know. Who knows? Anyway, let's see. All right. It's always nice to have Connie as a host. She's awesome.
I tried.
You're awesome. So what do you look, you know what? Here's the whole thing about diverticulitis and stuff like that. That's like if you eat, you know what? I buy these things called honeybees and it's made strictly with honey and some seeds and stuff like that. Now, yeah, could a seed get stuck in that diverticulitis or a diverticuli or the pouch that's in the gut lining and be irritating? And yeah, ooh, that's nasty stuff. And yeah, but and I don't think nuts as much as seeds. If you're chewing them properly, you can't be sitting there and wolfing them down like like somebody's, you watch a dog on a plate and it's like, and it's gone, right? Can't do that with your nuts and seeds. You got to chew them. And if you chew them properly, I don't think you have problems because I know many people that have that and are doing that. So, yeah. All right. Anything else? So, you know what? And do I eat a little chicken once in a while? Yes, I won't tell you I don't. And I might do it once every 3 months. And I take 8 enzymes right away and I'll pop 4 or 5 enzymes a couple more times during the day to get that out of my system. And it's only because it's bad behavior. Shame on you, Mike. But I've done it. I can't say I haven't, but I've done it. But I strictly, do fish and tuna and salmon and crab and shrimp and lobsters, anything out of the water. I love that. I don't do lobsters that often, but I do some crab.
So you never eat a period from a chicken? I have to, sorry.
That
You
was
know me.
very, that was bad. I shouldn't have said it like that, but
I've never forgotten it since the first time I ever heard you say it.
well, it is, but yeah, it's kind of like when I thought, here's the thing. A person has a 92% higher chance of getting colon cancer than anybody else if you're not eating meat. So that's the first thing they're going to get you off of. So don't do it. So I thought, oh my gosh, 15 years ago, when I heard those statistics and did all the research, I'm like, how am I going to stop? Because I come from Wisconsin where it's meat and potatoes and fat, this and that and the other thing. And you know what? Was it easy? Probably not. It was always tempting, but here's the thing. Whatever it is you're going to do in life, doesn't matter what you do in life, but whatever you do in life, repetitive behavior will turn into a habit after 30 days. So if you don't eat meat for 30 days, you start not wanting it. It's kind of like this. It's kind of like a person and for the person that was asking me about the stage 4, 0 coffee. No more coffee. Get that out of your diet. That's so acidic. It's crazy. It's the worst thing. You would need 28-ounce glasses of water to neutralize 1 cup of coffee. Guy comes into our office a few weeks back, and he comes in there and he loves coffee. And I'm like, you got to get off that stuff. And he's got this metal looking thermos thing. And if you saw the top of it, oh my God, it was so nasty. It was, oh my gosh, it was bad, bad, bad. Not God, cancel. But anyway, it was so nasty. Oh, and I said, do you know what your stomach looks like? Look at the top of that thing. I took a pouch of coffee from an actual business opportunity company and made it up to test the pH on it. And it smelled so nasty, I couldn't take it. I poured it out on the front, right in front of my office. I opened up the door and poured it out there in the cement. That cement, that was in last August. The cement still hasn't changed colors. What do you think's happening inside a gut when you do those types of things? It's extremely acidic. So, once you avoid those things, it's really hard to do them when you're alkaline. And they say, when you know, and you can't pretend you don't know. So to me, it's disgusting. And I think if you do it long enough, it'll get the same way to everybody here.
Can you tell us what brand of protein bars you drink or eat?
2G2, I think it's called.
Okay. 2G2.
Or G2G, something like that. Yeah. I get a plant-based protein bar. It's really good.
Can you order them on Amazon or you just get them at the store? Or?
I get them right to the door here. Yeah, I order them.
Okay.
I'm out of them. So now you know what?
So when are you going to create your own protein bar?
What's that?
When are you going to create your own protein bar?
It's easy to do, but it's hard to bring out into this kind of setting because it would be so expensive that it would be unaffordable, or it would have to have 0 points connected to it because it would just not be, it wouldn't warrant, it couldn't be it could be here, but it wouldn't be here something that you could build a business around because there wouldn't be any points on it, because when you have to factor all those percentages in, it would be really expensive. So
I'm going to try to come up with the recipe with the protein powder. I'll work on it.
I watched some things on Reels last night where these people got these sweet tooth, where they got sweet teeth, and they're making these keto protein desserts it was unbelievable. I copied some because that stuff is really good. Again, you want to get nice and lean, up your fat, lower your carbs, and you'll start burning. You'll start burning, your fat off. That's how it works. Because I'll be doing a live on this week of the way your body, I'll tell you exactly what it's entitled so you know it, because it's common and you're going to want it. And it's, let's see. Basically, I talk about the different, the way that your body, I don't even have a title on it. how your body burns, and first burns this, then it burns that. And there's no like bro science, like all this YouTube stuff. That isn't how it works. I'm going to teach you exactly how it works on my page, or maybe in the induce people who want to get into the community, but I'll do that one on Wednesday. And the way that your body actually processes these things and processes energy, right? And that's how it works. Yeah. All right, what else we got?
Okay, I got one more.
Of course,
You said you eat fish tacos.
I do.
What do you eat a tortilla
Yeah. I use
and you
corn.
just take corn tortilla and then you just take extra enzymes?
Yeah. Well, with the fish
Okay.
tacos, I don't do it with the fish tacos. I just take
Okay.
4.
Okay. But you do eat a corn tortilla.
I do.
Okay. Thank God.
Now you can do something.
No, no. Yeah. I'm developing a fear of food.
Right. Don't be. No. So, yep. Let me look here real quick. Right. So, yep. Anybody else? Looking to see if there's any questions in there. All right. Well, if you guys got any questions, now's the time to ask, guys.
Somebody asked, how long do you think it would take someone alkalizing to no longer have food sensitivities / allergies?
Well, alkalizing is for the food sensitivities, right? And the B-tabs would be for the allergies. This will work instantaneously, pretty much. You know, I've seen it work right away, and then it just kind of, and then work, you know. Yeah. Anybody else?
Thank you
not
so
reading-
much.
I don't see any other questions.
Thanks,
Okay.
everybody, for being here.
Yes, thank you all.
Thank you, Michael, for your information. Always good.
Yes. All right, guys, we spent a lot of time. God bless you. God bless your business, your families. God bless your businesses. And tomorrow night will be, then you're going to see Connie in action. Okay. She's good at it. These guys will do their testimonials and their opportunity and all this kind of stuff. And we will do these trainings maybe once every 3 months, because I do them always differently. And we go through this stuff, and yeah, but good stuff. Thank you guys. Thank you guys for hanging with me this long. Peace and love. And you know what? I'll see you guys on another broadcast. Definitely see you tomorrow night. Guys, have a blessed evening. God bless you all. And sleep well. Take care. Take some B-tabs and go to bed. See you later.